What I'm here to talk to you about today is how to bring your Sage data to life with EBS dashboards on Phocas. So who am I? I'm Adam Butler. I'm the account executive at Phocas. I work very closely with the guys at EBS. And I've got my colleague who's, I call him the Phocas wizard, but otherwise known as technical pre-sales consultant. So who are Phocas? We're about backing your business to connect and understand and plan better together. So we are effectively a planning and analytics tool. So extended planning and analytics is a new term that's been coined at the moment. We fit very solely into that position as that wider analytics and financial planning tool. We are B Corp certified. So I've got that on the slide, but we are a global based business. We have offices in Coventry, the US, Australia and New Zealand. And we have over 23 years of experience. We work with a whole range of Sage customers. And we have over 300 employees based across 8 locations. So what is Phocas? Phocas really, to put it really simply, we make people feel good about data. How we do that is I kind of touched on it briefly about the extended analytics piece, planning analytics, but our product covers quite a range of business needs that typically throw up challenges that effectively blend together when you look at the wider picture. We connect to the whole range of Sage's ecosystems. We are a Sage tech partner. Fundamentally, if you did come and speak to Phocas, you would be looking at us from a range of looking to get better analytics and insights from your core data, whether that be sales, that could be stock, that could be accounts receivable, age creditor information, or if you're looking at the wider financial piece, then you'd be looking at better analysis of your management accounts reporting that could be within Sage, or it could be within Excel templates and Excel spreadsheets, locked away in Excel spreadsheets. Similarly to that, you might be wanting to get more out of your budgeting process. We speak to a range of customers, and the common theme we typically hear is that because of the change in the economic climates, business pressures, business growth, business challenges, the need to budget and revisit the budget and plan more accurate forecasts is coming up more and more. So we have a great tool that effectively takes what you're currently doing without reinventing the wheel, but really adding in intuitive functionality to really save you a lot of time and really stay proactively with all the business changes that are occurring. And then we also have a rebates tool. So similarly to the financial reporting and the budgeting side of things, a lot of it is conducted in Excel. Similarly with rebates, you'll see complex spreadsheets working out multiple rules across multiple products or multiple customer terms, whether that's customer facing or B2B. Our rebates tool is really designed to just effectively create the rules, pull in the data, run the rules in Phocas, and then effectively serve you the insight so you can act faster, and whether that's spotting opportunities or mitigating risks. So especially around cash flow, the last thing you want is, your sales are going through the roof, and then all of a sudden a B2B supplier hits a rebate, and then immediately it has a direct impact on your cash flow. So our tool really helps you stay proactive and plan for those things that are occurring within the business. And because of our range of products, it means that at every single level within the business, whether you're the CEO or whether you're in the Office of Finance or whether you're in sales, it's a really connected approach across the range of data sets and sources that you need to get that faster insights from. So sales can work collaboratively with operations to make sure that the products they're selling you've actually got in stock. Finance can then check in the detail of the sales ledgers all of the revenue, the cost of sales, and then accurately put that together towards a month-end pact. And then the CEO can then dip into certain elements of the business without having to pull other people away from their primary roles to get that key insights that they need to drive the decisions forwards, drive the business forwards. So we have a range of products that I've just described. The good thing about the products is they're not locked away behind complex processes. They are very intuitive. They're designed very nicely, as you can see on the screen. But the main thing about Phocas is it's all about enabling users to just get to the answer very quickly. We're seeing a lot of customers wanting and aspiring to get to this point, but whether it be locked away behind process, whether it be locked away behind spreadsheets or static informations at one point of time, there's this real need to be able to flexibly move through the data and to get served the answers. Especially just tying into that, I'm not sure if we'll cover it a little bit today, but the whole buzzword around AI. AI is the biggest thing that's happening in all industries at the moment. We've actually incorporated AI into the product, so you've now got a really nice combination of business intelligence and artificial intelligence, so that you can dive through the data, get the insights, but actually you can actually just ask AI to dive through even quicker, as I did on a demo yesterday, and it made me look quite redundant as it answered my question within 3 seconds. But the whole point is, again, it's just really about building using technology as an enabler to get you the answers to make better decisions quicker. So the key takeaways from the products, and we can show you this at any point if you would like to pop over to the stand, and my colleague Pete will go into this in a bit more detail, but the real headlines around analytics focus around just having all your data in one place. So you might have one source of data, or you might have 4 sources of data. There is commonality that links it together, but because they're all siloed, it makes it very difficult to collaborate all of that data into one place. So pushing it all into Phocas, into a cloud environment, being able to seamlessly move through the data sets and sources really enables you to see the wider context of what's going on within the business. So you can almost effectively set and forget your reports that you require. So you can get automation coming through 8:30 in the morning as you're driving in, knowing what things need to be actioned throughout the day, right before you even step through the door. So it really helps you tell a story within seconds, give you a better understanding of the business, but ultimately make the right decisions and the right moves. So not looking retrospectively, looking both at the present and going into the future. On the financial statement side of things, it's all around time saving and being able to analyze the data and make decisions quicker. I suppose it's all, for finance, it's all about telling that story. So often is the case, we tend to speak to a lot of officers of finance and customers that they spend the majority of their time doing financial operations, so manipulating the data to give you one snippet of the truth, whereas the majority of them would want to spend their time focused on financial performance. So really driving into which accounts are over or under budget, how the business is setting itself up, what are the trends that are happening within the business and where they're going to finish for that financial year and then the following financial year to date. So being able to see that information, have that infrastructure in place when you go into your working day and effectively then start making the decisions rather than have to manually manipulate up until that point, really helps keep the business ticking. And also it does make your finance team a lot happier at the same time. On the budgeting side of things, so budgeting can be done by a whole host of people within the business. It can be done led by finance predominantly. It could be driven by sales, product. But the main things we typically hear is around multiple people feeding into a budget and having to, one, understand Excel to a fairly decent level, but have multiple versions of one spreadsheet sent out at certain periods of time, having to restrict certain areas. And whilst all of the movements are going throughout the inputs, the calculations, it's praying that it doesn't break fundamentally. What the Phocas approach to budgeting and forecasting is not to reinvent the wheel, to take things beyond what people are used to. It's just to layer and sprinkle business intelligence into the process. So it's completely live documentation. It has amazing workflow functionality, and so that, as you can see on the right-hand side, if I was to allocate out a line to the sales director to then allocate out to the individual reps or regional managers, they input in, there's a comment history and workflow history of everything that's been put into the document. It can then be approved, rejected, or even people you can nudge as well. I think that was a term back in the MSN days, and share my age. But you can then prompt people to then input and meet deadlines without fear of breaking the document and collaborating better. This can then be layered into the other areas of the product, so that if you're diving through a sales database and want to see your sales position at a certain point of time against budget, It's just a couple of clicks because it's all centralized within the same solution. And on that, I slightly touched on the traditional workflow. So typically the workflow when it comes to traditional financial reporting is it's usually handled via the CFO and financial controller. And then you might get multiple people feeding into either financial controller or CFO to get snippets of information. The thing that's not on this diagram that typically does tend to come up is that within these two roles, they are usually the focal point for all reporting. So CFO might have to create a sales report whilst they're in the middle of month end, which causes just a little bit of pressure in terms of actually getting to the end goal in terms of the actual reporting process itself. What we are seeing more people wanting to move towards is a more dynamic approach. So being able to have everyone have access, whether that's full access or limited access to the data to make those decisions themselves and seek out that information, which means one, it frees up a lot of time for more proactive reporting, and two, it means that people have the ability to go in and actually seek out the answers they want. I was reading an email actually before I was just jumping up, and actually it was from a customer saying me to check in and seeing how they're doing. And actually the first thing that they said was the CEO is diving in and getting the KPIs that they need rather than having to come to me, so it's freeing up that time. And that is what a lot of businesses are looking to move towards, is that collaborative approach. But I believe I'm going to hand over to Pete, who's going to take you through the dashboarding side of things.
Brilliant. Thank you, Adam. And good morning, everyone. What I'd like to do for the next 5 minutes is just try and perhaps plant a seed in your minds around how you're analysing your manufacturing data at the moment. So apologies to do this, but can I just have a very quick show of hands for those using the Cycon application at the moment? Got that, Adam? Good, good. So what I'd like to do is just talk through a little project that I'm working on at the moment with the tech team at EBS around extracting the data that you've got within your Cycon systems around your manufacturing and getting that information into Phocas so you can analyse that further and get the KPIs and the metrics that you're interested in. So in order to sort of leverage that functionality that we've got within Phocas, in that you can create your own workspaces with your dashboards, so very much a self-service tool. You can go in there and you can create your own views and your own reports ad hoc. And you've also got that ability to drill into that information as well. So by that, I mean that could be sales, it could be stock, it could be purchasing. But in this case, we started to look at how we can analyze your manufacturing data too. So the idea is really so that we can understand sort of three key areas of your business. So the benefits are that you'll be able to improve your decision making with this data. So you'll be able to ask yourself the question, you know, according to estimates, which of this week's due works orders are falling short of labour on. So with that, you're not going back to your tech team and saying, I need a report on this, or I need that broken down by department, or no, actually that's right, but I need that for a different value. The idea with Phocas is we've got that data within the system, within our cubes, and you're in control of that. You can build out those views and those dashboards to get at that information. Second benefit is just optimizing that process. So what are the differences between what I'm currently doing and what I'm estimating that I'm going to do in terms of production and manufacturing? How is that affecting my costs? How many hours am I spending on this? And does that sound about right with what I estimated last month or last quarter? What are we looking like in terms of the upcoming hourly forecast for the next hour's worth of production? Am I going to hit that? So the idea is that you've got those tools at your fingertips to be able to produce those reports and drill into them again at any point. So with those two benefits, that should hopefully make you a bit more competitive. It gives you that advantage. You can provide your customers with a better service. You can also look at producing lower operational costs because you're cutting down on your labour, and you've got a good idea of what you're producing and when. So the dashboards themselves, I'm just going to give you a very quick glance at what these look like. So this is just a very small slice of what our current solution looks like. But at a glance, you can see if I was to look at that view on the left-hand side there, that's showing me exactly what my estimates are looking like against my actual costs for the upcoming month or for the upcoming day. And I can see all that by product category, by product, by line. I could do it by business unit. It all depends on how you want to slice that data. But in this case, maybe within my job role, I need to see it by finished product. So I add that to my dashboard, and that information's all sat there. And straight away, I can see my offender is that new engine sync unit. I can see there I've either overestimated or underestimated the cost. But that visualization there, you can very quickly slice and dice at any point. So maybe you just wanted to take a look at that waste disposable unit and just have a look at the underlying transactions that sit beneath that. And that's all a couple of clicks away. Now that information's great on the left-hand side, but you can also summarize that in a bit more of a holistic way. So you can take a look at the overarching business, or maybe just one particular warehouse, and how are we doing in terms of actual costs? How are we doing against estimated costs? And all that data is just sat there in Phocas, waiting to be analysed and drilled into. You're not going back to your tech teams asking for that brand new report to be created within the spreadsheet. Okay, thanks.
So two slides I'll leave you with is why Phocas. So a lot of, because we're in the analytics space, we do come up against tools like Power BI, Click, manual manipulations is the biggest one as well. The difference between, I suppose, the two that are on the screen and Phocas is really down to ease of use. Pete really touched on it, and I've touched on it a little bit around how easy it is to use Phocas, but it really is down to a couple of clicks, because all the technical build, the allocation of tables, the relationships that are built between the data is done right from the start of your journey with Phocas. So every day you go into Phocas, it's down to you knowing what you want to see and then clicking a couple of times and it will show you the answer every single time. And to replicate the equivalent in different solutions, it takes a lot of front-end build resource to get to that point. Now these results are from the BARC Business Intelligence Survey from 2023. We have actually applied, I'm not sure if I can tell you this, so it's a bit of an exclusive, but we have actually applied for the BARC Business Intelligence Survey for the financial side, and the scores are pretty much equally the same in the financial space as well. So keep an eye out for that one. That can be officially released via marketing. You didn't hear that from me, but you did. But if you would like to dive into anything that either myself or Pete has covered today, then please feel free just to pop over and say hello to Pete, me, or the other Adam. Or you can scan this barcode and get in touch, and then we can equally arrange some time to run through it for your business needs specifically.